that erupt so hard that killed 25,000 people?
On November 13, 1985, a wall of mud moving at highway speeds barreled into a sleeping town of 29,000 people. Within 10 minutes, the entire community was buried. Geologists and researchers had been sounding the alarm for weeks. They knew the mountain was unstable, yet the people of Armero were never told to leave. The death toll was the result of a series of specific decisions to prioritize silence over safety, transforming a predictable geological event into a man-made catastrophe. After 70 years of dormancy, Nevado del Ruiz woke up in September 1985. It began venting steam and shaking the region with minor tremors. In response to this activity, scientists spent weeks mapping the surrounding terrain to predict where the debris would flow if the volcano fully erupted. This topographical map confirmed a lethal geography. Armero sat at the base of a long valley, positioned directly inside the highest risk red zone. Yet, local officials downplayed the risk, fearing an evacuation would cause unnecessary panic and economic disruption. This priority for stability over safety created a fatal information vacuum, leaving the residents of Armero blind to the geological clock ticking above them. The eventual eruption was relatively small, but it triggered a massive secondary reaction. The intense heat flash melted the volcano's heavy ice cap, releasing millions of gallons of water in seconds. This meltwater mixed with hot rock and ash to form a dense liquid slurry known as a lahar. It moved with the consistency of wet concrete, but the speed of a flood. The lahar funneled into the narrow mountain valleys, accumulating mass and speed over a 40-mile plunge toward the lowlands. This moderate eruption initiated an unstoppable physical cascade, focusing the mountain's weight into a high-speed wave directed at a town that had no idea it was coming. At 11:30 p.m., the flow reached Armero. Because no evacuation orders were ever given, the town was hit while most families were asleep. The mud buried the town grid in minutes. Estimates suggest between 20,000 and 25,000 residents died in the initial impact and the hardening debris. Aerial views show the scale of the destruction, a massive gray scar carved through the valley floor, terminating where the town's streets once stood. The mud settled exactly where the scientific hazard rats predicted it would. The disaster validated the experts' warnings with chilling precision, proving that the risk was never a mystery to those in power. Rescue efforts were crippled from the start. Teams were hampered by impenetrable mud, a lack of fuel for helicopters, and sluggish bureaucratic aid delivery that left workers stranded on the outskirts. This systemic failure was personified by 13-year-old Omaira Sanchez. She remained trapped in the debris and water for nearly 60 hours while the world watched. Rescuers stood by her side, but they were physically unable to free her. The government failed to deliver basic water pumps or surgical tools to the site in time to save her life. Journalist Frank Fournier documented her final hours, creating a global debate. It raises a difficult question. Is the role of a journalist to intervene, or to ensure that such an agonizing failure is recorded for history? Omaira's death became a microcosm of the entire tragedy, a single documented life lost because the state failed to provide basic tools for survival. Today, the Armero disaster is studied by disaster experts as a textbook example of bureaucratic negligence. It proves that the most accurate scientific data is useless if it is ignored by leadership. The instruments worked, the geologists were right, and the hazard maps were precise. The failure occurred in the offices of officials who lacked courage to act on those facts. Disaster preparedness is a science, but survival relies entirely on political will. In 1985, that will was absent, and 25,000 people paid the price in the mud.